friends, welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is going to be a kind of vlog announcement, shout out video. I'm actually approaching my 5-year anniversary here on YouTube, so I thought I would do a contest, and that's actually going to become in a couple of days' time, because on the 7th is when my actual 5-year anniversary is, and I'll do a contest then. But I kind of, before that, I wanted to really just say thanks to a few people and kind of give a few shout outs to channels that I've watched over this kind of the last few years. Now, I've done a few shout outs before, so I'm going to try and do some kind of some new YouTubers maybe that you may have missed, and really just yeah, have a yay. I've been on here for 5 years, 5 long years. Anyway, yeah, so I just want to say thanks to everyone obviously who takes part in the channel in regards to both contributing, which obviously a massive thank you to those guys, but just watching the videos, liking them, you know, commenting, all that good stuff. It really is appreciated, and you know, I've enjoyed a modicum of success, I suppose, on a very small scale compared to your you know, your Logan Pauls and all that type of malarkey. But nonetheless, you know, obviously the B-movie watching crowd is probably a lot smaller than your kind of vlogging and all that sort of stuff. But let's go on to some shout outs, then we'll kind of talk a little bit more. A couple of guys I really want to say a big thank you to, first of all, and I've had a variety of contributors that have done stuff for the channel, both literally with me in person or done reviews and bits and pieces for me. But two guys recently within the kind of last year or so who have contributed on a regular basis, and you would have seen them if you watch the channel, do reviews for me. Buckaroo Banzai, who's been doing reviews for me for quite some time now, obviously does a great channel looking at kind of cult movies and kind of like showing his collection, that sort of stuff. You know, Paul there does a fantastic job of reviewing some of the kind of the screeners that I get sent. I'll sort of give them to him, and you know, he's done a great job in reviewing some of these movies. And he's got his own little section even. He reviews all the kind of the Arrow movies. We get sent kind of like copies of them, and Paul does the majority of the Arrow films for me. So a big thank you to Paul over at Buckaroo Banzai. I will of course leave links to all these guys in the description below. But he's very knowledgeable, so if you like kind of like older, especially kind of like you know, Asian films, stuff like that, cult movies, go check him out. Another one who is a newer YouTuber, Aaron from Screen Stars. He started off not all that long ago, but we've kind of become kind of pretty friendly within the last kind of like 6 months or so. And Aaron as well has done quite a few reviews for me over the kind of the last kind of few months. And again, I really appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you very much. And if you like the kind of the movies that I tend to cover on this channel, you should definitely go and check out Screen Stars, because he does a very kind of similar, and not the kind of like sometimes the same films as I do, but you might be able to get a different perspective perhaps. But yeah, thank you to Aaron. So go and check out those two guys. There have been other kind of contributors. You know, Madison Mayhem used to do a lot, but she kind of doesn't do YouTube anymore. Blu-ray Ben, Brian Gatto. But I wanted to give a special shout out to those two guys. They do it quite a lot for me. Now I'm just going to go on to some kind of channels that I've really enjoyed, that I haven't shouted out before. And I don't want to go into a whole massive list, but I am going to talk a little bit in brief kind of detail about some of these guys. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Horror Addicts. And the best way I would describe this channel is a kind of almost like a horror variety show. They do a whole bunch of stuff like kind of like unboxings, reviews, just kind of chats. They did quite a good, the main driving force behind it is this one American lady, Gory the Movie, and she used to do these kind of like female-centric horror kind of chats, which I thought was quite a neat idea. I think it's quite, you know, its own shoehorn there. It's not many people do that. I think that was a pretty good idea. They haven't done it recently though, but they're definitely worth checking out. Very well presented. You know, definitely worth checking out. Horror Addicts. You'll notice a lot of horror channels on this one. Another one I want to talk about, again, a horror channel, is Horror Retrospective with Cara Grimm there, and she does a lot of kind of not really old movies, but kind of like older movies, retro movies, as you probably would have guessed. goes into great detail. When you kind of click on the video, you might be shocked. Sometimes you kind of will dress up in a kind of like some horrific kind of makeup and stuff, so you might be scared watching the video, but I would definitely check her out. She's a wealth of knowledge and obviously has a real reverence for the material. Moving away from horror just a little bit and kind of maybe going into more of the Funko Pop and the kind of merchandise, a fellow Brit, keeping it real. Nerd of the 80s is a guy who I probably discovered about a year and a half ago, and he does a lot of kind of Funko Pop updates and stuff like that. Funko Pop is something I'm moving away from, if I'm honest, personally, but I still enjoy watching the videos. But he does all sorts of stuff. He does a review here and there. They also do, like, you know, fast food reviews and stuff like that. Really kind of, obviously, with a name like Nerd of the 80s, you'd expect him to be a very kind of like a big fan of the kind of the 80s and those kind of like those pop culture icons from there, as am I, of course. So that's a big, you know, a big one there. One of the newer YouTubers that I found probably 6 to 8 months ago, who, trust me, go subscribe to this one because she is great. Retro Nerd Girl is a fairly small YouTuber, but damn, this girl has got it going on. I mean, she is a great YouTuber. She does, obviously, as you'd expect, similar in a way to Horror Retrospective. If those two aren't talking, they really should be. But very kind of in-depth looks at kind of older films, older kind of genre films. But it's so well represented, it really is. She does so much research on these films. And when she does her reviews, I mean, this is what I do. I'm sitting in front of a camera, but she puts so much into the graphics and the kind of presentation. Really, really good, and does a real kind of wealth of knowledge. Definitely go and check out Retro Nerd Girl because she is an absolutely incredible YouTuber and deserves a lot more attention. So please go check her out. And the last one is really just a YouTuber that I'm kind of fascinated by. It's actually a cooking show, and I have really no interest in cooking, but I just find the concept really good. The Homicidal Homemaker. I think her name's Casey, and she does basically, she's obviously a big horror fan and kind of like the you know, the retro pin-up girl style things, but she'll make horror themed kind of like snacks and kind of cooking. There's a cooking show basically, but with a horror twist. And it's really well kind of shot. The presentation is fantastic, and even though, you know, I could never be bothered to make any of that stuff myself, I find it a really great concept, a really kind of fascinating show for maybe people who like horror but maybe like other stuff as well. Neat idea. So go check out the Homicidal Homemaker. There's a bunch of other people who I could list off. I don't want to kind of like spend the whole video talking about that. It doesn't be too long. So that's really all I'm going to say. I am going to be doing a contest probably in the next couple of days. I'm going to try and have up to the 7th, which is the actual 5-year anniversary. So please check that out. I hope anyone will enter that. And again, thank you to anyone who really just watches this channel and you know, comments and stuff. Please go and have a look at all these guys. I'll leave the links in the description below. Bye for now.